All right. Well, I'm going to see how this goes. May need to adjust my mic a little bit. I am going to basically do a quick channel update, whether people are here to watch while it's current or not. And then I might play around with Celasta's Dungeon Maker a little bit, see if I can't get that fired up and running. That's the 5th edition SRD indie game that's coming out. All right, then. Well, I guess first I'm going to open up with thanking all of the people who have supported this channel. The members, I've got a couple channel members. You can actually join through the membership button below. I'm going to do some more with that over time. Anybody who's supported me on Patreon, and my Patreon has been acquiring a couple more in the low tiers, which is good because for a very long time it's only been like 3 people. If you've been watching my videos for a while, you'll notice that the end materials only list like 3 names or whatever. It's because for a very long time I've only had like 5 patrons contributing quite a bit, and I haven't had a number of little, less than $5 patrons. So I really appreciate the number of people who are willing to support me on those. And the Subscribe Star people, although I got to be honest, most of my Subscribe Star members are in there because they're also in my D&D games, and they kind of basically are taking advantage of the D&D game that I'm running for my higher end patrons. But without those people, this channel would not have lasted nearly as long as it has. That enables me to purchase things to review and purchase new equipment, which I will actually get into in a little bit on this update stream. But thank you all the membership, all the members, all the supporters. You really make this worthwhile, because gotta admit I make a fair amount more from that than I do from the YouTube revenue, because this channel is pretty tiny in that regard. So what things have been going on in the channel? Those of you who've been watching have been noticing I've been trying to get a few more tabletop reviews out, and that is actually going to increase going forward. I just released my Old School Essentials review. No. I mean, the videos are up there. All the annoying people who don't keep up with my videos. No, I actually appreciate anybody who even takes the time to watch any of my videos. They're not going anywhere, at least until YouTube decides that it's absolutely done with small tier creators, because I wouldn't put it past them. But they're going to be there, and whenever YouTube does decide that it's going full Netflix and eliminating everybody that's real small, I'll probably pop them up on an alternate tech platform or something. I'll get into that in a little bit. But those of you who've been watching have noticed I did release my Old School Essentials review. I hope that the people who have watched that review like that format. More people seem to like that format than my old ones, so I'm kind of sticking with that and refining it a little bit. The small tier creators who do movie reviews seem to be doing okay. Yeah, so far. And so far I'm doing all right, but you never know, You never know. YouTube is all constantly changing, so I got to look forward rather than back. My next review in terms of tabletop stuff is coming up. Is going to be Lion and Dragon, and that is an OSR style system from the RPG Pundit, whom I'm sure that some people have heard of. He's got a YouTube channel as well, so he's always got interesting things to say, although I understand if a lot of people will find it rather questionable. I personally like this system so far from what I've seen, but I'm going to have to take a look at it. That's going to be my next major tabletop review. And I hope I'm going to be fine for years. And I'll get on the alternate platforms in a little bit. I'll talk about that a little bit, at least as much as I can on YouTube. So what I'm going to do is not most of, but a fair amount of the Patreon Subscribe Star money goes towards one of two things. At least historically, it's gone towards one of two things, and that is equipment for the channel and stuff to review. Because although I get sent some things to review, that's a far cry from the majority of things. I got to shell out of pocket for a lot of things to review. So as far as equipment for the channel goes, I'm pretty settled. There are a few other items that I would like, but they're like on the back burner for now. So really, the majority of the patron money is going to be going towards building the new sets, which I actually finally. Some of it should go to your bank account. Just saying, I appreciate that. But like any bit, and I'm not going to say that some of it won't. But as in any small business, if you don't invest in the business, it's gonna stagnate. So I won't say that that I don't occasionally buy a little something for me out of it, but the vast majority of it does go towards the channel support. But that is going to help me in the future, because here's the thing. For the first time I've been doing Indie Game Friday, which is my little independent reviews, my little independent game reviews that I do on Fridays. I've been doing that. I'm in season 7, so I've been doing it for 6 years prior to this. And prior to this, quite a lot of it went towards buying stuff for the Indie Game Fridays. This is the first. I had a very huckster body. If you don't invest in the business, head bob, eyebrow wriggler. Yeah, well, here's the thing. I used to be in advertising, so yeah, you can say that. But I used to be in advertising, so I guess a Southern advertiser just kind of came through, you know. But this is the first year in several years where I've actually got almost the entire year of Indie Game Friday lined up ahead of time. But serious time. This is the first time in the entire time that I've been doing it that I have most of the Indie Game Friday stuff already lined up for the year. I've got some spots in there for new releases as they come down the pipeline. I've already got that budgeted for, but it's only like the end of March, and I've already got almost the rest of the year covered. So what I'm going to start doing is picking up more tabletop review stuff to cover. And I've kind of painted myself into got your Pools of Darkness flavor, your Baldur's Gate flavor, your indie, that Texas Gamer Tea. I guarantee you got your Pools of Darkness flavor, your Baldur's Gate flavor, and your Indie Weekend flavor. Yep. I gotta adapt the I gotta adopt it. Hey, it's always nice to see people attend the chat. Oh man. But yeah, back to what I was saying. I'm going to be doing more tabletop stuff and start, getting a couple good books down the line to cover on the tabletop reviews. And I know it takes me a while to do the tabletop stuff because I like to read it and do a fairly technical analysis of it, so it does take me a while. But hopefully this will help me get some more interesting stuff down that pipeline. I've kind of painted myself into a corner doing a lot of OSR stuff. I know some of my viewers would like me to cover some other systems. So what I will be doing is kind of mixing it up with some OSR products and then some other newer systems, kind of like I have been doing. But I'm also going to, on a suggestion from several people, start mixing in things like more adventures and more campaign settings, maybe some mega dungeons or whatever. So after the Lion and Dragon stuff, I'm going to be trying to get my hands on Worlds Without Number, which is from Kevin Crawford. He did Stars Without Number, and it uses a similar system just for like Sword and Sorcery Fantasy. But I will also be looking into reviewing a mega dungeon of some sort, and this is in the coming month or 2 months, probably closer to 2 months, knowing my schedule. But I will probably put another poll out to figure out what like mega dungeon book that I want to review, because I've had several requests to review Barrel Maze, but Barrel Maze has been out there for several years. Jackals from Osprey, I have heard about that, but I have not seen it. I will put that. In fact, I will note that right now. Jackals from Osprey. Osprey puts out a couple things that I would like to take a look at. I may have to. I may go ahead and try and take a look at that, and I'm going to try and take a look at some Mega Dungeon stuff. As I said, I've had several requests to review Barrow Maze, but it's been out so long, and many people have reviewed it. I might do it anyway, just because people like to hear their thoughts on something reiterated or something. But I may do that, and then I may also review Gunderholfen or something like that. Gunderholfen's a nice OSR one, supposedly. Yeah, but expect some of that as well as these secondary non-D&D systems in terms of the tabletop stuff. I'm also going to try, and don't hold me to this, but I'm going to try and do more Shelf of Many Things with some more minor adventure type stuff that's not a huge, investment to take a look at. So I'm going to try and get some of those out of the way. And I can only hope, in terms of doing that. So, expect Indie Game Friday is going to be here for this year, but I don't know if I'm going to continue it after this year. It all depends on how the views on that go, because I mentioned this last time I talked about the channel, is that Indie Game Friday used to be one of my better draws, and now it's not, just because of the way things go. So it depends on where it is at the end of the year. I enjoy doing it, but if nobody's watching it, then there are better types of videos that I can put together. You know what I'm saying? Because if I don't have to put like 8 hours into Indie Game Friday each week, I could put 8 hours into a tabletop game, a tabletop game review. So there's that. But I'll make a decision on that later in the year. In terms of Let's Plays, I'm going to continue with my Fallout 2 Let's Play on my main channel, but I have just finished Pools of Radiance on the secondary channel. So it's not all up. My patrons and supporters and members, people who pay for the channel membership, should have access to the playlist with all of them on there. Yeah, only watch Indie Game Friday if it's something interesting. I will say this, I have some retro-style RPGs lined up for Indie Game Friday coming up. I've got Battle of Asturia, and I've got Marburg, which is almost like bulletin board system style, where it's text-based, but it's like Legend of the Red Dragon style. It looks like, and then I've got at least one. I'm looking into another one that more look like the early Ultima series, like Ultima 4 and 5, that kind of graphics, and I got those coming up eventually on Indie Game Friday. But just watch what interests you. That way, I get a sense for what interests you. I want to say the first one, the Prodigy type thing, rather than Muds. It looks interesting. I'm going to see how it works. This week, I'm doing Dark Devotion, which is aggressively mediocre. A spoiler for my review coming up tomorrow. Dark Devotion is aggressively mediocre, but after that, I'll be doing some more old school stuff. In terms of the Let's Plays, I just finished Pool of Radiance on the secondary channel, as I said, and I'm currently querying my supporters and such for which one to do next on that channel, which I'm not going to start until next week. Yeah, man. Same way. Prodigy was not my first exposure to the internet. My first exposure to the internet was Delphi. Of all things. And then I went to Prodigy for a little while. Yeah, real old, man. But you remember the Ultima Dragon? I was a tiny member of the Ultima Dragons over on Prodigy. There's a skill-based game that's been around for a year called GMD Core. It's by a UK developer, GMD Core. And that's a tabletop game, correct? I'll have to take a look at that. I'll take a look at that as well. Yeah. So I will try to cover more tabletop games. I am just so sorry it just takes me so long to do tabletop stuff. It's just because as I said, I'm trying to devote more time to the channel. But I've been trying to devote more time for the channel for 6 years now. So we'll see how that goes. But hopefully it'll all be falling into place. It'll all be falling into place. But yeah, as far as the secondary Let's Play on the secondary channel goes, I've put up a list for my supporters to pick between, and it looks like it's either going to be Eye of the Beholder or Might and Magic Worlds of Zine, both of which I have played, but neither of which I have finished. But we'll see next week because there's still a lot of people that haven't voted on that yet, so we'll see which one it ends up being. As for the main channel, I'm going to get some more episodes of Fallout 2 up for early access for my patrons, and I'm going to continue on that. Expect me to record them sometime this weekend, and they'll be up early next week. I hope early next week because I'm about to run out. Yeah, I've been trying to devote more time to the channel since I created the channel. That's not wrong. That's not wrong. And if it was one of those channels where it was like up to the minute topic type stuff and was just getting a slew of views, I'd probably be able to justify it more. But I still got to earn a living. I would love to spend every waking moment on this channel, but I still got to earn a living. So that's the way that goes. Yeah, I have fun with it. I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying keeping the channel up. I'm amazed I've been able to keep it up this long. It has kind of not stopped its growth, but like sit into a coasting mode for a couple of years now because of the fact that I split it between tabletop and computer role-playing games, and that does not appeal to everybody. So the people that come to me for the tabletop games don't follow the computer games. Most of them don't, and the people that come for the computer games usually don't follow the tabletop games. So you can take the number of subscribers I have and split it in half, and then it turns into something more like what you'd expect of a YouTube channel in terms of engagement. So, but no, I'm cool with how it's been. I've been cool with how it's been. What I'm going to be doing, though, is I'm going to be moving into a new set. Because those of you who've been following my channel for a while know that I've been cleaning up a room to be used as a set for a year now. I just couldn't do a lot on it. Here's a rundown on that. I got a sister that lived with me for quite some time. And she was not, shall we say, the sort of person that you would even want to rent a house to, much less let them hang out for free. So imagine the most terrible hoarder slash I want to say junkie, but kinda slash just complete slob that you can ever imagine. And then just imagine them just completely trashing a set of rooms for like a year straight. So I am just now, arg, that's about it. So I am just now finishing cleaning. It took me this long. I had to clean 2 rooms. So I've got them cleaned now, and I'm finally able to make a set out of the thing. So it's not going to be in the next coming weeks, but maybe in the next month or so, you're going to be able to see. I'll be able to set up like a green screen on one wall, and like I'm going to have one. I don't know if I'm going to move my recording setup, but I may have like a set just for the RPG News Roundup, so I can differentiate a little bit, and I will. Oh man, no man, it was terrible. I can't even say some of the things I found in that trash. I cannot even say some of the things I found in that trash, because it would violate terms of service. Anyway, but yeah, then I'll be able to set up like a separate thing to more properly record my flip throughs of my books, because right now I'm basically throwing a blanket over an end table and kind of perching over it when I record those books. So that's why when you see them, the backdrop has like little holes and stuff in it. It's because an old blanket I threw over a table. So hopefully I'll be able to set up something a little bit nicer to record some of those flip throughs. And then at that point, I'll be able to just devote more time to actually getting them done. So looking forward to finally getting that done after years. Now things are going pretty good in terms of content, at least from what I think of. Now my question is, aside from the suggestions that have been stated in the chat, does anybody really have any like requests in terms of what they want to see more of? And before you say tabletops and taverns, I do have more tabletops and taverns planned. It should have been out by now. Got no excuses. I just failed. It should have been out by now. But there will be more tabletops and taverns coming, which I've been saying for since 2018 was the last one I put one up. So 3 years now I've been saying tabletops and taverns is coming. That was just my bad. I got no excuses. I failed. I could blame it on something, but nah. But yeah, more reviews. RPG News Roundup is definitely going to be sticking around. And I will be trying to do my... see me run a recorded game in the future, like a tabletop game. I have run... here's the thing about running tabletop games on there. Yeah, Super Beast, you mean tabletop game, right? I have a few tabletop games that I've run super casual. They are just... I was just recording it for some gaming with some friends and putting it up there. I currently record every tabletop game I run. Because I run them all online because I don't meet face to face anymore. But I currently record every tabletop game that I run, so I can put some more of the tabletop stuff up. If you want to check out ones that I've done that I am proud of, that I liked, the problem with that is that they both kind of petered out because my players' schedules didn't align. Goblin Gears is on my channel, I think, still. Look up a playlist, Goblin Gears, on my channel. I had fun running that one. That one was like, it was like an all goblin / goblinoid thing. It was just two people playing. It was like two people playing goblins in an underground kind of steampunk city with like Styx. What's the name of that stealth one? Was it Styx, Master of Darkness or whatever? I'm looking at it. I'm just so blind I can't read it. I'm getting new glasses soon, by the way. So that'll be fun. Styx, Master of Shadows, Styx, Shards of Darkness, that kind of thing. I put together like a steampunk fantasy style setting and it was like an underground goblin city, and it was all stealth based. I need to pick that game back up or continue with it, but it was 5th edition, so yeah. And then the other one I had fun with was Heroes in the Mist, which was basically Ravenloft. It was me running Ravenloft. And that's still on my channel. I've got a full playthrough of Tomb of Annihilation, but oh my god, that was so terrible. I was half-assing that entire thing. That was like me DMing at my worst. And my patrons who have played in my games know that I'm usually a very low prep DM in the first place. But which is a fault of mine. I've never claimed to be a well-prepared DM. In fact, the part of DMing that I am worst at is preparation. But Tomb of Annihilation, I was just running it off the cuff out of the book without any kind of looking forward or prep work or anything on it. It's still up for now if you want to watch me DMing terribly. I've got some supporter D&D that I can put up. Yeah, I mean, DMing, people think they're terrible DMs, or people think they would make terrible DMs. It doesn't. It does. In my experience, if you are decent at improvisation, not in terms of like acting improvisation, but in terms of improvisation of coming up with ideas and such. Controlling may be a bad part, because what I have found is that if you're good at improvisation and adapting to people, then you will probably make a decent DM. But what I found is that people who are good at writing, and that ripping is this, Yeah, if your players have fun, then you're good. If your players have fun, then you're all good. Because that's really the only metric that matters. A lot of people think that they need to be like an excellent voice actor. I don't do voices. All my voices either come out Southern or some other variation. I can do like 5 different voices and they're all Southern. And yeah, people think you have to have like excellent voice acting or very 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 flowery speech in terms of descriptions, but it all matters. Yeah, it all matters if your players had fun. All right, thank you for stopping by. I am on Rumble and Odyssey, but it's only my tabletop stuff right now. I will be putting up, and I am on BitChute as well, but I have trouble uploading to that from time to time. I'll drop you a line. I'll drop you a line about that. And in fact, going forward, I will be putting more of my stuff up on alternate platforms, but right now I'm just mirroring my old tabletop stuff. Like I got my old tabletops in taverns, and I'm starting to mirror my old tabletop reviews up to them. As for my Let's Plays, putting them up on like alt tech stuff, I don't know. I'll have to figure out. I would ordinarily just mirror the channel, but I kind of am recognizing the mistake I made by not splitting them into 2 channels in the first place. So my alt tech stuff right now is just tabletop stuff, and then I will eventually put like the Let's Play stuff up on a separate thing. But yeah, I found that and back to the DM thing. I jump around a lot, I know. Back to the DMing thing. I found that being a good writer does not necessarily mean being a good DM, because you got to adapt to the players. It helps, but if the players are not going to follow somebody's the players are not going to follow somebody's preset narrative, and they're going to if the more that you try to force them to stick to the narrative, the more they're going to rebel. So generally speaking, it's better to improvise and to figure out ways to entice players to the narrative you want, rather than force them. In other words, use more carrot than stick. That's my general DM's advice, just thrown in the middle of all that. But yeah, I got a full plate on stuff going forward. As I've said in my last channel update, I will be dialing back the Let's Play stuff on the main channel to just one series a bit, and I've been doing that. So after Fallout 2, I don't know what I'm going to do. It's going to be a continuation of one that I've already started on the channel. So it will probably be something like Pillars 2 or Neverwinter Nights, like another of the campaigns, or maybe another Fallout game, although I don't like doing 2 of the same type in there. I've still got to do like Divinity Original Sin 2. So I've got plenty of options for the main channel, even though I'm only continuing stuff I've already done on the main channel. As for other D&D games, I'll be playing them like other they'll be on the secondary channel. The things like Eye of the Beholder, the rest of the Gold Box series, that'll be on the secondary channel. You know what? I think I will try to put up more tabletop stuff like what I ran on the main channel. One idea I had. I used Roll20 for a very long time in terms of tabletop, virtual tabletops. Right now, I'm mostly using Fantasy Grounds. But what I might do is try to run something in a variety of virtual tabletops. Like I might try to run something in Foundry. I might try to bust out Map Tools, run a little thing in that. And I might... That's an idea for a series. I might review some virtual tabletops. Would anybody watch that? Because I know some people have issues deciding which virtual tabletop they want to use. Mind you, that means I'm not going to be an expert in any of them. But if I run something basic, do a review, and then put the gameplay footage up on the channel, that could be interesting. And it seems like I run so much D&D stuff. I want to run something besides D&D. I want to run like... I might do like a Call of Cthulhu thing or something. I don't know. I'll think about it. I've had some requests for more GURPS stuff too. But yeah, more table a recorded game. Yeah, that'd be good. Hell, I might even put a call out for GM Numenera for. Ah man, I could. That hurts, man. I'm not a fan of Numenera, but I appreciate it. But no, I've had three people recommend or three people offer games for me to play in recently, and I need to find the time. I would love to play in pretty much anything somebody else GMs, but I just need to squeeze more time out of the day, you know. But that is a shortcoming on the channel. I need to put more of that stuff up there. Traveler, oh man, I have never played Traveler, but it looks so interesting, and I feel like I should like Traveler because I remember liking Shatter Zone. I don't know if anybody's heard of this one. I have mentioned it a few times. Shatter Zone was an old West End Games one where you played like GURPS historical or fantasy. I like GURPS fantasy. I have not played GURPS historical type stuff, but I have played a little bit of GURPS fantasy. My favorite system to run and my favorite system to play. My favorite system to run is old school D&D simply because I know it in and out. It's my favorite by default because I can at any time pick it up and I'm just so familiar with it. Does that mean that I want to run it all the time? And does it mean I think it's an expert system? I don't think it's an expert system. I don't think it's the best system. I don't even think it's even I think it's a moderately good system. But I just have so much experience, it's just easy for me to run. And when something's easy for me to run, then I can concentrate more on like the storytelling than I need to about the mechanics. I also enjoy I do enjoy GURPS, although I am not super familiar with all the ins and outs. I mean, I know enough, but I have to keep looking up the tables and such because I don't have them memorized yet. Let me take a look. I'm trying to learn Call of Cthulhu. I have not run it enough to really get a thing. As for my favorite to play, my favorite system to play is whatever system that I can play. I am not picky, except when it comes to like setting. I'm not a big fan of post-apocalyptic settings. And I'm not a big fan of freaking storyteller stuff either. Or whatever they're calling it now. Chronicles of Darkness or World of Darkness or whatever. What is the best system and why? The best system is the system that you and your group can play. Because if everybody, like if you have your mind dead set on one system, but nobody else wants to play it, then you don't have a game. But as for in terms of intrinsically best, it's going to vary on genre and group. Systems need to be either simple or familiar enough with the group involved that the use of the system needs to kind of retreat a little bit so you can focus on characterization and the interplay between characters and the story and such. Because if you spend most of your time worrying, like flipping through rules and worrying about this and worrying about that, then you're not really playing the game, the game's playing you. And that's not a critique of overly complex systems, because overly complex systems can actually be really, really good for certain groups of people if they take the time to get familiar with them. And then if it flows right, then that's the best system for them. My favorite to play is, as I said, any system that I can play in. Being a former forever DM, I understand that. I play 5e because my friends run that at that alone. Exactly. It's like I would prefer to be playing something else, but given the choice between playing 5th edition and not playing at all, I'll play 5th edition. I also need to look into more obscure systems. I need to learn Traveler because, as I mentioned, it has a lot in common with one of the few sci-fi things that I actually enjoy, which is like exploration, like starship exploration and in planetary exploration. I like that idea. I'm not a big fan of post-apocalyptic stuff, so stuff like Mutant Crawl Classics is like out. Not a big fan of that. Not a big fan of most horror role-playing games, except for Call of Cthulhu, because they're not really horror. You know, I played Vampire. I didn't like it, and half of that was because of the setting, and half of that was because of the. Now this was in the 90s and early 2000s, so it may have changed since then. But people who play Vampire are a little bit different than people who play like fantasy stuff, just in terms of what they focus on, and that just wasn't my was not my dig, you know. I like cosmic horror. I do like cosmic horror. Yeah, there. I mean, that's the great thing about RPGs. That there are games for all tastes out there, and a lot of systems can be used for a bunch of them. Yeah, I like cosmic horror. That's why I like the Call of Cthulhu stuff. I've only played a little bit of it, so the system's still getting to me. But I love the cosmic horror type stuff. Yeah, a terrible GM/DM can wreck your experience for sure. Absolutely, absolutely. You know, even a mediocre GM is better than a terrible GM. I will gladly sit down and play a game run by a mediocre GM, and I will enjoy it, because if Delta Green I have not played yet. I need to take a look. I've heard good things about that one. I have not played it, and I've not reviewed it. I need to take a look at it. What I have reviewed is, or I haven't reviewed yet, but I have taken a look at, with the intention of reviewing, was I think like Eldritch Horrors or something, which was like an OSR system adapted to. It was like an OSR system adapted to Lovecraftian horror, and then I'm still trying to get into Warhammer. Which is, I know, more fantasy, but they got that kind of grim kind of. I don't know how to describe it. It's not cosmic horror, but it's kind of on the verge thereof. So I know people that are really into Warhammer are probably like gritting their teeth right now, but that's another thing I need to get into. Hopefully this coming year, with my broader focus on getting some tabletop reviews done, I'll get some more exposure to a lot of different systems. So hopefully that'll be it. But yeah, in terms of the terrible GM/DM, if you've got a good GM, the game's going to be good. If you've got a bad GM, the game's going to be bad. But if you've got a mediocre GM, then the game can still be good if the other players are fun to play with. Eldritch Tales, that's exactly what it is, Fred Daniel. Eldritch Tales, White Box, Swords and Wizardry, Lovecraftian. Yeah, I need to review that one. I don't have a print version of it. I need it. I need to get a print version of it. I got the PDF. Yeah, that one's a fun one. But I think that's mostly fun because it's OSR, and OSR is kind of easy to run for me, so I don't have to worry about a lot of stuff. But yeah, that's kind of what I need to do, is get more tabletop stuff up. And I know I know some people are just kind of dying to figure out what I need to run for to play for my next computer game Let's Play. I am enjoying doing the Thursday streams as well, but I gotta be honest, I'm running out of games to play on Thursdays, and I know some people ask me to stream more often, but it seems that every time I stream, I just end up like talking tabletop role-playing games while I play video games, which I guess is cool, but if I'm gonna play just talk tabletop games, I may as well just talk tabletop games. Lamentations of Flame Princess. I have never played that, but I have read through it several times. I have wanted to run it, but I'm trying to think of how to put this. If you've watched any of my old tabletops and tavern stuff, one of the main things I stress, no matter what topic I'm talking about, is that you have to know your group. I have like 2 groups that I regularly play with. I'm pretty familiar with what they like and what they'll have, throw a fit about. And Lamentations of the Flame Princess, Lamentations of the Flame Princess, I want to run, but I can't because I know the groups I mostly go for won't go for it, So it's a rock and a hard place there. I think I would have a better time running Eldritch Tales or like proper Call of Cthulhu with them than I would Lamentations of Flame Princess with them. And it's just something about the group composition. Pretty much all of them, but one of them would probably a little bit of that, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of this, it's a little bit too lethal, a little bit too strange for them. I know one of my players will literally play anything I decide to run, but I also know that like I'm running a 5th edition game right now, and I'm already getting like flack over including too many horror elements in it. Like they're like, yeah, I am enjoying it, but it's a little bit too like I'm not sure I like horror. Let's see. I'm gonna have to show that. There you go. That the game went too far. I saw Lamentations had a book and knew the game wasn't for me. I'm not into stuff that pushes the edges like that. Yeah, Lamentations the Flame Princess does push the edges, and it's intentionally provocative. And some people see that as some people just can't handle that. And yeah, that's one of the reasons why it's like I know three of my players won't go for that. I know one will, and I know another might, because they'll play in anything I run, but then I know the rest of the group won't like it, so I don't get to play it. Same reason I couldn't play the Chalt stuff with that particular group, because it went a little bit over the edge in certain places. And while I enjoyed reading through it and running bits of it for the group, I did have to skip over other parts just to avoid setting them off. You just got to know your group, man. Everybody's there to have fun. Some groups go all in on that, and you know what? More power to them. I got one group that I've been trying to assemble, but I've never got their Pendragon. Oh my god, I love Pendragon. Yunsu in the Purple Land. I've heard of that. I've been meaning to, and you'll have to excuse me, my shirt's shut. I've been meaning to review both Pendragon and you'll have to excuse me, my lack of organization has just caught up with me. I think I just had an entire book vanish off the face of the earth. Pendragon and Paladin. Yeah. I want to review Pendragon. Yunsun, the Purple Land. I've heard good things about that. I need to review that. I'm getting a good list of stuff that I can review for the review stuff. The reason I have not reviewed Pendragon yet is because how do you review a masterpiece, you know? Yeah, it would probably be too weird for my group, but hey, you know what? I bet it'd make a good review, the Yunsun thing. I want to review this, and I want to review Paladin. I love those systems. Man, where did Paladin go? Oh my god, I had it right here and it's gone now. I have an entire RPG book that's just gone. You know that's going to bug me until I find the thing. That's not there. Oh my god. All right, I guess I'm gonna write that off. Yeah, yeah. Pendragon is just awesome. ElfQuest. I, ElfQuest is one of those games that I always wanted to. Here, I can't say I always wanted to play. Here's the thing with ElfQuest. I kept seeing the book laying around in my old group from back in the day. One of the players owned ElfQuest, and I don't know which one, and we never played it. But every time we met up to play Magic the Gathering or D&D or whatever, the book would always be there, but nobody ever claimed ownership over it. So that's one of those books, like, I always saw the book sitting there, and then, you know, the Expanse RPG. Is that based on the books or the TV series? I have not seen the TV series. I have not read the books either, but I am aware of what they are about. And it's still bugging me, man. I've got like this complete RPG book that just wandered off, and I have no idea where it is. And it's not like a RPG book that I constantly pulled out. It's based on the books. Yeah, the stuff's always better when it's based off the books. I need to review the Witcher RPG. I need to get the Witcher RPG if for no other reason than to have it on my shelf. The TV series is worth watching if you like science fiction. I'm mixed mind on science fiction. As I said, I like certain types of science fiction, like exploration and like gritty science fiction, but not like post-apocalyptic science fiction. So yeah, I may have to watch that series. I just have so little time to actually watch TV anymore. Although I say that, what I usually do is while I'm working, or working on, whether it's be working on the channel or working like, you know, to work, I have something going on in the background while I do that, but it's usually like another YouTuber or something else rather than like TV. Yeah, Expanse is hard sci-fi. I love hard sci-fi. I will definitely have to take a look at that. Both the RPG and the books. Have I looked at Burning Wheel? I have looked at Burning Wheel, and then I have looked away. I have not read it or reviewed it. I am aware of it. I've heard very good things about it, and I've heard that Torchbearer was based on the system, but I have not actually. No, I just haven't got into it. It's not that I dislike it. It's just I looked at it. You ever look at something and decide that you might want to look into it? Yeah. It's like you ever look at something and you're like, that's interesting, but right now I'm going to look somewhere else because I got the time. That's basically what happened. So I've looked at it and I've scheduled to, I've decided that I wanted to look through the stuff. And then I decide that I've got to get this stuff done first, and then it just falls by the wayside. And so it always comes up. It's like the 5th time it's come up, and I just never actually got into it. It's not about disliking anything. In terms of that, I mean, I dislike plenty of things. It's just not with regard to that. Yeah, I need to take a look at it. There's only so many. There's only so many times. Only so many hours in a day. Oh man, I may have to take a look at that then. Burning Wheel. I got so many stuff I need to review. It takes me, ideally, it should take me approximately a week to review anything that I really put my mind to, but because I have other things to do, it ends up taking me a month to review anything. Because it takes me about a day to a day and a half to read through a system. Yeah, this is live. No, this is not a recording, man. Often stuff is a recording, but no, I'm doing it live this time. 0 Hour Games, run by Ryan, will produce a great physical and digital map of the Rocinante. Is that from Burning Wheel? Or is that from something else? Yeah, I've got a list of stuff that I need to review now. It takes me about, ideally it would, as I said, ideally it would take me a week to review any particular RPG because I don't read swiftly. So it takes me between a day to a day and a half to read through an RPG book. Then it takes me, I want to say like 3 to 4 hours to script the review. Oh, The Expanse. Okay, The Expanse. That's what it's in regards to. All right. Yeah, I will have to look at that. But yeah, 3 to 4 hours to script the review. Then like between 1 and 2 hours to record the footage for it. Even though it usually only takes, it only ends up being like 20 to 40 minutes per review. It can take me up to 2 hours to get the footage for it because I tend to go off the rails a bit in case you haven't noticed, and I end up cutting that out, and then it takes me about an hour or so. So ideally, I could get a review done in 3 days, but I just I got other things that are going anytime. Yeah, I need to take a look at those. I need to take a look at that series and the maps, The Expanse. So I will try to look into Traveler. Here's what I've got on my to review list now. Hold on, give me a second. Hold on, give me a second. Because I'm actually compiling the list as we talk. Alright, so I've been wanting to review Pendragon. So I'll get a review of that out at some point. I am definitely reviewing Lion and Dragon next. I will at some point review World Without Number as soon as I can get a hold of it. I will try to, whenever it comes out, review the Advanced Old School Essentials tome whenever it comes out. I will take a look at Jackals from Osprey to see what that would fit in. I will also take a look at GMD Core to see if that's worthwhile, as well as Yoon Soon. I'll take a look at The Expanse. I can't guarantee a review of that, but I will take a look at it. I will take a look at Traveler. I don't think the world needs me to review Traveler, but I will take a look at that because if I learn that setting, I may be able to review some more Traveler stuff. I know Complex Game Apologist used to do a lot of Traveler stuff, but I think he's switching over to D&D stuff because it's the YouTube algorithm likes it better. I have looked at Numenera, and I'll look at Burning Wheel sometime. I have looked at Numenera. I appreciate it. I'm trying to be nice here. I appreciate what it is, but I'm not a fan. You see what I'm saying? It's like I can appreciate why people like it. I'm just personally not a fan. It's like one of the reasons I couldn't even get into Torment Tides and Numenera is because the setting just threw me off. Just the setting of Numenera throws me off in a way that's hard to describe. And it's weird because I actually like far future ideas. I like how it's science fantasy. Well, I guess it's science fantasy. It's really like a what is it? Like Clark Tech or whatever. I like far future theoretical stuff. I like one of my favorite YouTubers is Isaac Arthur, for instance. But the setting for Numenera, like everything says I should be interested in it, but I just never clicked with me. It never clicked with me. I'm sorry, but I can understand why people like it. And I need to do more setting reviews. Most of my reviews are systems. I need to get a couple more settings in there that I can review. So I got a full plate. That is what I will do. What have I not covered? I covered what's going on with the where I'm prioritizing my supporters money spend. Covered more cover the Indie Game Friday stuff. I want to do more streaming. I try to stream most Thursdays. It's not every Thursday. A lot of times when I'm streaming, I'll just play a video game and I'll chat in the background. I'll try to do a channel update from time to time, but I can only really do that once in a while. I love doing the live streams, and I'm trying to do more of them, but there's only so much time in the day. Heroic Dark is a free indie game. Heroic Dark. Have I covered that? That sounds so familiar. Give me a moment. But yeah, I do lives. I try to do live streams. If they're a good OSR tabletop or in Dark Sun, I'll get into that real quick. Just remind me in a little bit to run Dark Sun. Yeah, Guts and Glory or whatever it is, the AD&D 2nd edition clone. Then you can just pick up your Dark Sun books and use it running that. I mean, that it doesn't get more straightforward than that. There's a 2nd edition AD&D clone out there. If you're talking about a standalone OSR, there was one that was put out recently. I can't remember the name of it. It was even by I don't even know if it's OSR, but I know some like secondary system was being put out by a group of people that included authors that were involved with Dark Sun originally, and it came out just recently. And I don't know if it came out yet, but it was kickstarted recently. I can't remember the name of it though. Oh, I have failed. As far as the live stuff, I do try to stream every Thursday. Well, I don't get it every Thursday. Like, I don't think I did it last week. Did I do it last week? I will usually be playing a game. I'm open to chat then, and I will every month or so I do, or whenever I get whenever I get enough in the queue, I do a quick look where I look through indie and small prep. Well, I look through free and pay what you want RPGs, tabletop RPGs. And I do that live, and I do that on a Thursday. What did I do last Thursday? I thought I did something last Thursday. Watch, it's going to be really, really obvious. I'm going to look back at what I did. I can't even remember what I'm doing half the time anymore. I'm beginning to lose my mind with old age. Hold on. What did I do last Thursday? My last stream, March 11th. That was not last Thursday. That was the Thursday before last. Yeah. Last Thursday, I didn't do anything. Thursday before last, I did a live flip through the Malleus Monstrorum, which is sitting on my desk gathering dust and all kinds of stuff that I should probably put somewhere nice. And I said then I needed to review it. But yeah, I'll try to do more live stream stuff. You know what I thought? I threw this idea out there some weeks ago, and I can't do it right now. But when I get that, secondary room set up, I may have enough room to do it. Is I'll try to do and I can't guarantee a schedule on this, but I'll try to do some adventure design. Whatever. I'll try to do some adventure design stuff where I go ahead and set the cameras up so you can see what I'm designing and stuff. I'm terrible at map drawing. It gets the work. I guess it gets the job done. But what I might try to do is design adventures from time to time on stream live. Reviewed my Ubiquity Engine games. I reviewed any Ubiquity Engine games. I have not heard of those. Actually, Ubiquity Engine. All right, Ubiquity Engine. The large. Okay. I'm looking it up right now. I have not, but I have covered these in my RPG News Roundup, but I have not actually reviewed any of these. Leagues of Gothic Horror, Leagues of Adventure, Mysteries of the Hollow Earth. This all looks like pulp stuff. That's neat. I need to look into those systems then. Yeah, I'll probably take a look at those systems then. Some friends want me to play Lancer RPG. It's a tabletop mech warriors game from what I understand so far. I have heard nothing but good things about Lancer RPG. I even took a look at it. I haven't been able to do a proper review of it. What I saw, I liked, and I've heard nothing but good things about Lancer RPG. So I would say go ahead. I think it's even more than Mech Warrior type stuff. It's like got mechs in it, but it also covers other things. So I've heard really good things about Lancer RPG. I need to take a look at it myself, like a more in depth look at it. I'm just watching my stuff mess up on my other machine. But yeah, I'll take a look at some of the Ubiquity Engine games. I've got enough stuff here. I've got enough review ideas here to keep me busy from now till the end of the year. Now, I'll have to start knocking these reviews out faster. I'll try. That's all I can do is try. From what I understand, most of the people that watch my channel watch it for the tabletop stuff. So I just wish I could do more of it. Oh man. I appreciate that. So yeah, now the only person I have to blame for not getting these out is me. Not that I was blaming anybody else to begin with, but just need to buckle down and concentrate on it. Yeah, I try. I like doing the roundup. I need to spruce up the roundup and put like video images of the video games that I cover in there, but it already takes me 8 hours to put the roundup together, and I usually don't put it together till Saturday. So my Saturdays are I wake up and I grab breakfast and then I work on an RPG News roundup like the whole day, and then if I'm lucky, I get it done in time to play a D&D game, like once every 2 weeks with that somebody's invited me into, and I that only lasts like an hour. So I just basically need to focus more on it. Following my Let's Plays of Neverwinter, Fallout, Divinity, such. Yeah, I like to Let's Play the old school stuff. That has held my channel back is because I do both. I do appreciate that you like the Let's Plays. You know, if you haven't taken a look at my secondary channel, I'm finishing up Pool of Radiance. I already mentioned that earlier. So Pool of Radiance is up there, and I'm probably going to be doing like either Eye of the Beholder or Might and Magic Worlds of Zine next. Yeah, the info. And I've noticed a lot of people treat my stuff like almost like a podcast where they just listen to it rather than bother to look. But the thing about it is that if you want to make a splash and you want to get more eyeballs on something, you need to improve your game. So in terms of me, you know, I'm trying to improve my RPG News Roundup game. I didn't even like doing RPG News Roundup. I am not a journalist, so me doing that and doing journalist type stuff is just like so completely out of my wheelhouse. But I stick with it because people enjoy it. Number one, people enjoy it. Number two, it does bring new viewers to my channel. Number three, it keeps me on a schedule because without something like that, I would quickly lose track of the days because none of my other work has like a real day-to-day schedule. And number four, the affiliate links really make it worthwhile. the affiliate links make the RPG News Roundup a little worthwhile. It's not a lot of money, but you know, it's it's a little bit. Man, yeah, I don't know how I got into this, man. My training, like my degree, is in computer programming and in game design. It's like I have no background in journalism whatsoever. I guess if you count, like I used to work in an ad agency in the 90s. I guess that's kind of a journalist, but not really. Like I know how to write a news release. That's about it. But yeah, the thing about the RPG News Roundup is that it's all like it. I get primary sources from time to time, but it's really just an aggregation. I use like 4 different sites to gather the RPG news snippets, and I should probably credit them, but they grab it from other sites, so I'm like aggregation. I'll tell you one thing right now: RPG Watch is an excellent site to pick up, to take a look at. RPGamer.com I mostly hit up for like console news, because I know some people like the console news. I for the tabletop stuff, I may, this may be like a little bit like spicy, but I have not table there. I can name that. I can count the number of tabletop sites that I can stand reading for more than 5 minutes on one finger, and the rest of them I kind of grit my teeth, and I can't stand reading them. I cannot. Oh my god, yeah, I cannot. So a lot of what I'll do on the tabletop stuff, like computer RPG news, that's easy. It's the tabletop stuff, because, and I don't even want to go into why I can't stand it, but I'm pretty sure that a lot of people can guess why I can't stand it. No, I live down near Houston, man. I got folks up near Arlington, Fort Worth, but Houston is yes, it's a significant way away. No, I'm down near Houston. And occasionally go down near Corpus from time to time. But yeah, the other thing is that so for tabletop stuff, like my usual thing, my RPG news roundup thing is this. In the morning, wake up, I have breakfast, I sit down, I pour over like the 3 or 4 computer RPG sites that I look through, and I pull out snippets that happened during the week, and then I look at my email, because at one time I was on Twitter following a bunch of game developers, but I can't. Yeah, Twitter's a cesspool. I stopped being able to get anything useful off of Twitter, and so I look at my email for any news releases, because I sign up for a lot of news releases, and then I go to Steam and to Epic and to GOG.com, and I look to basic pretty much. So I look through there for the new releases, and that's why I find some stuff in the new release and in Steam a lot of times. I find some interesting stuff that doesn't quite make it to the other things, and then so I go ahead and pop it up there. And then I don't cover rumors. So if something is rumored, even if it's big and a lot of channels are covering it, I don't cover rumors until they're confirmed. And I don't cover like drama type stuff. So if there's like, oh, this computer role-playing game is delayed because such and such, did this or that, unless it's like technical, I just won't cover it. I'll just say it was delayed or whatever. Because I don't like the drama. I probably should, because that's what YouTube thrives on, but I don't like the drama, so I skip that. Don't like rumors. And then the tabletop stuff, I pour through the tabletop stuff, and like 90% of the time, I don't find anything useful. It's usually just people going off on something. And then I just I manually pour through the Drive-Thru RPG, through the new releases list on Amazon, through the Kickstarter and the Indiegogo, and I compile a list of everything that was released over the last week. And that's what takes a while. And then I write a little blurb for each, and then I put it all together. And it's work, but I mean, if at the end of the day you guys watch it and enjoy it, that's the important part. I will say that I don't cover some things, but like if there's not a lot of detail on something, sometimes I'll skip it. Like if it's like a tabletop game is planned, but they don't have anything other than a name, sometimes I'll skip it. And in terms of Kickstarters and Indiegogos, I do have a bit of a vetting process. I used to cover computer game Kickstarters as well, but so many of those turned out to be trash that I rarely do anymore. Only once in a great while will I cover a computer role-playing game Kickstarter. And tabletop gaming Kickstarters, I do a quick read through, and if it doesn't look like it's already of a certain quality, and if it looks like there are certain like red flags, like these people might cause a stink if I cover it on the channel, because there are people like that, then I won't cover it. But other than that, I'll cover just about anything that gets up there that looks neat. That's the other thing, because it's a curated news thing. But there, yeah, that's my standard my RPG news roundup type stuff, and that's why I put the affiliate links in there, is because it takes so long on that particular day. I gotta get a little bit of kickback from some time to time, so it makes it worthwhile. Makes it worthwhile for a day. Indie Game Friday, my procedure for Indie Game Friday. Oh man, let's just say that there are certain developers that put ideology before business, and I want to keep my head down and not attract that kind of trouble. And that's all I'm going to say on that. I have actually found it easier to deal. Yeah, I know. That's because I keep my head down. I don't say... Well, I've said some controversial things in the past that I don't think are controversial, but that I've got some crap for. Dude, I have got people messaging me, berating me, because I reviewed products from certain people. That's all it takes, man. That's why I keep my head down, and I keep everything real straight and narrow a lot of times, man. Because if I put out what I put out, right? If I put out, I'm looking at the camera and I'm telling you what's in a product and what my thoughts on the product are, and I close the book and that's that, and I still get dumped on for it. You can only imagine what I would have to put up with if I actually said anything that's quote unquote controversial, man. I want to avoid that stuff. I just want to tell you guys the news. I want to tell you the news, and I say you guys because because A, my audience is like 99.9% male, and B, because it's just a hippie, just an old school thing. Yeah. You got it right there. 28 millimeter. Yeah, you got it right there, nailed on the head. Because I covered Wenger's stuff, and because I covered Macris's stuff too. I got some pushback for covering Axe, and I'm covering Lion and Dragon, and you know that I'm going to be fielding some stuff off of that just for covering it. And you know what? You want to know what? All it did was make me line up the next stuff to cover. I decided I wanted to cover it. It's like, if I'm going to get pushback from it, I'm not going to mention much of it, but I will cover more of it. Anyway, yeah, internet be crazy, man. Everything be crazy nowadays. But anyway, back to my process, because I think the process is interesting. My process for Indie Game Friday is to pull... I have a list of independent role-playing, computer role-playing games in my tablet right here. And I kind of decide ahead of time which one I might want to look at, and if it's a new release, I may prioritize it a little bit. Although if it's a buggy new release, I may give it about a month or so before I cover it, just to make sure that I don't give it a completely... If any product, tabletop or computer, is absolute trash and has no redeeming qualities, then I will not cover it. In fact, if I have a bunch of stuff recorded for it and I've already started to think about the script, but I've decided that it's absolute trash, I will throw away hours of work rather than covering it, because I'm not in the business of getting here. I'm the only thing I'll apologize for is not being more organized on stuff. But my general thing is that is that if something has no redeeming qualities, then I'm not going to cover it. I have started to recover more imperfect games recently because I do like to put. Let's put it this way: I studied for a damn degree in game design. I'm gonna use the thing, so I go ahead and give some criticism and some constructive criticism and some suggestions, especially for computer role-playing games, in my reviews for them. So my process for Indie Game Friday is that I've been trying to stream capturing footage for Indie Game Friday on the secondary channel. And I haven't been able to do it every week. Sometimes, like, all kinds of stuff is going on. Like, last week, we had somebody doing, like, they were taking down some trees right outside my window. So I couldn't stream, like, literally all day. It was just like, bah. So I just recorded the footage offline. But I've started to record the footage for my Indie Game Friday stuff on my secondary channel. So if you're curious about what I'm going to cover for Indie Game Friday, a lot of times you can take a look at my secondary channel and you'll see a stream log up there or whatever, and it'll be me capturing footage. I generally play a game. I try to play a game between 2 and 3 hours, but if it's really obvious that I've seen as much of the game as I'm gonna see in like an hour to 2 hours, then I'll cut it off there. I don't do full playthroughs on my Indie Game Friday because I concentrate more on the gameplay itself. Because if, for an independent game, I think the focus really should be on the gameplay rather than what the ending of the thing is. So that's why my Indie Game Friday focuses real heavy on like mechanics and the gameplay. And then I just script and record the review and get it up Friday. And that usually only takes me about 2 hours. In fact, I'm kind of late on recording the Dark Devotion review, so I'm going to be recording that after I get off of this. Let's Plays, you know the process for Let's Plays. You just record it and edit it. And I just edit out things like phones ringing and such. So, all in all, my video production for most things is straightforward. But, and the reason I got on this tangent is kind of to explain why I haven't got as many tabletop role-playing game stuff material up as I should, because that one takes me the longest, because that one literally takes me like 3 to 4 days per review. So the best I can do is like maybe one review a month, or like one review and then a minor review a month on tabletop stuff. Were I affected by all the outages and such a few weeks ago in Texas? Not me. No, because this house, I think I'm on a circuit with a hospital. We kept power like just down the street. It was off. So I had power throughout the entire time, which was damn good because my elderly parents are here. And especially my mom. If it had gone freezing, I don't know what I would have done. I would have had to basically get out of town and try to find some place to, and there was no place to stay because it was statewide. So I would have had to find some option to get her with heat. My great aunt, who is 96 and living on her own downtown, had her power go out for 2 days. That was brutal. And I couldn't get to her because the roads were kind of frozen down there. So yeah, I could not help that, and she turned out okay. But man, I was thankfully I was not directly affected. I did end up I was unable to finish some videos in time, but I have since caught up. Because while my power stayed on, my internet was throttled because we were literally the only internet node in like my region to stay up because the power was out on a bunch of them. So my internet was throttled to like where I couldn't even go. Yeah. People up north, even people up north were laughing at us because like, oh man, it snowed in Texas. It's like. And it was like the end of the world. But really, It was, man, because we're not prepared for that at all. Our houses, like this house that I'm in, Houston averages winter. In terms of winter, the coldest it gets here in winter on any given year is in the low 40s, and it might dip below 40 for like a night. I can count on one hand the number of days that I've seen snow in my life, and I'm over 40 years old. And 3 of those days were this year. So, yeah. Yeah, and it's like this house is not this house is designed to let heat go away rather than trap heat. Yeah, yeah, people. Yeah, it was insane, man. It was insane. I just put my head down and enjoyed. And I tried to get some work done. But my internet was throttled, so it was like, yeah, I was like basically back on dial-up levels of internet. So I there was like a week there where I couldn't post anything but like one video, and I think that was my RPG News Roundup. But that it was like just happened that week that it happened was the week where I'd already uploaded like all my videos and scheduled them. So I was like, oh, thank God. Because I don't know, I don't think anybody noticed that I couldn't even upload for almost a week, because it was like I had everything scheduled. That's why I love batch recording stuff. It's like my next batch recording of Fallout 2. I'm gonna record like 6 episodes in a row, and that'll do me for 2 weeks. And I may miss putting up one next week, because I'm probably not gonna get the recordings for Fallout 2 done until I want to say like Monday, and they're not going to be edited and up until Tuesday. And I think I only have like 2 more in the queue, so I may end up missing a day of Fallout 2 next week. But everything else is just coming up great. Oh man, I cannot wait till I get that stuff set up for the new set though. That's going to be so interesting. Oh man, and here I had intended. You know what I intend? I think I've done enough of the channel update. I had intended to open up Solasta Crown of the Magister and check out their Dungeon Maker. Anybody want to see that? I haven't even opened it up yet. Supposedly they have a Dungeon Maker in the update. Let me take a look at the update real quick. If you're not familiar with Solasta Crown of the Magister, and it is a 5th edition SRD computer role-playing game, and I honestly think that and I know some people don't like 5th edition, but hey, 5th edition, it's D&D is D&D. At least so far. I mean, they're changing that, but right now D&D is D&D. But Solasta Crown of the Magister is an indie game based on the 5th edition SRD, and the new patch. When does the spring update hit? Alright, it is live right now, and it should have a Dungeon Maker for it. So do I have time to look at that tonight, or maybe I should devote like a stream to that alone? And if you're wondering what that weird shadow is, I got a new boom arm for my mic. Because I got sick of knocking into it on the desk. And yeah, that's a blue Yeti attached to a boom arm. That thing was hard to find, man. With a proper shock mount for it, because a blue Yeti weighs like 2.5 pounds, something like that. It's like 2 to 3 times as much as a normal mic. I think I'm gonna. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut the stream here, and I'm gonna take a brief break, and I will attempt to fire up Solasta Crown of the Magister Dungeon Maker and we'll take a look at what that offers. Because I know the tabletop people probably aren't interested in computer role-playing games, but that's kind of like at the mix between the two. And I'm also, if people are interested in seeing me do like reviews of virtual tabletops, let me know either in the chat or the comments. And I might do a few reviews of virtual tabletops too, because I'm trying a few different ones out. But for now, I think I'm going to wrap this particular stream up here. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for continuing to be subscribers. I will put out more polls coming up regarding parts of the channel as well as other interesting things, partly to boost the ratings and the algorithm, but partly because it gives me interesting feedback. So I hope people don't find those annoying. Expect more of those. Expect more tabletop reviews as I can find them up. And I will try to be back later with Solasta. Thank you for your continued support. Take care and goodbye.